The sun had barely brushed the horizon when they began their ascent up Shatter-Point Spire. The air hung crisp and dense around them, the sky draped in hues of early morning light. Equipment clattered softly, echoing against the obsidian cliff, as Elias and Marcus, two climbers tethered by a literal and metaphorical cord, began their demanding journey upward. This was a battleground not only of endurance but of the mind, testing the very resolve of those who dare to reach its coveted summit. In the chill of the morning, the climb had an almost comforting rhythm. Elias, with every breath deliberate, cut through the tension like the point of an ice axe. Yet Marcus, already laboring against both gravity and an invisible weight of doubt, murmured his discontent into the silence. "Already? My harness is digging into my hip," he complained aloud, breaking the quiet that encapsulated their vertical struggle. His grievance was not lost on Elias, who simply nodded, his own thoughts buried beneath layers of resolve. "The mountain is what it is, Marcus. Save your breath for the oxygen-thin air ahead," Elias replied, his voice woven with patience and an edge of warning. By midday, progress had slowed, and the sun radiated mercilessly against the black stone. Marcus halted once more, lamenting the sun's glare and the relentless texture of the rock beneath his blistered hands. The smooth ledge where they paused offered no solace, only a keen awareness of time slipping through their fingers. "My grip is shot," Marcus said, his voice a crescendo of frustration. He refused to move, and so Elias, ever steadfast, descended to aid once more, pulling Marcus upward as their schedule, already thin, shredded away quietly in the rising heat. It was here, as the summit loomed tantalizingly near, that the cracks first began to show in Marcus's resolve. His whispered fears grew louder, and his trust in his own ability faltered as the shadow of the overhang stretched long across their faces. "I can't do it. My arms are lead," he gasped, panic cracking through every word. Elias paused, his own body tense with urgency as he glanced at the dipping sun. "If we don't clear this overhang in 10 minutes, Marcus, it's over. Use the crimp on your left," he urged, eyes flickering between Marcus's trembling form and the narrowing sky. Yet Marcus was adrift on a sea of his insecurities, a stark contrast to the physical power displayed by his bulging muscles, gripped not by the rock but by his relentless internal battle. Elias reached again, pulling Marcus up, robbing precious minutes they did not have. Frustration and fear intermingled, and Marcus's grip on reality and rock alike began to falter further. "I need a minute! Just a minute to breathe!" Marcus shouted, his words a flare of anger in the fading light. And then, with dusk nearly upon them, came the critical moment of decision, where persistence met responsibility, and the threads of their camaraderie stretched to breaking point. The final pitch was a cliff of consequences. Elias pushed forward, 10 feet from the summit, while Marcus sat on a ledge below, his voice swallowed by the rising wind that heralded the dreaded death whistle. The sanctuary above began to seal itself away from the night. Elias turned, seeing Marcus, strong but somehow still ensnared by his doubts. "Marcus, climb! Now!" Elias's voice was a desperate command, but Marcus looked upward, eyes vacant, defeat anchoring him. "It's too much. It's not right that it's this hard at the end. Come back down and help me," Marcus pleaded, caught between blame and fatigue. Here, amid the howling wind, Elias made his choice. "I cannot carry your mind, Marcus. Only your weight, and your mind is too heavy for us both." His own certainty became a stark knife between them. "You're leaving me, after all we've been through?" Marcus's voice followed Elias as he climbed, a tether unjustified but felt nonetheless. The stone gate clanged shut as Elias heaved his body over the edge to the plateau, sanctuary enveloping him in its warmth, while the mountain claimed the silence left behind. He stood alone in the golden glow, looking back toward the sealed passage, where Marcus's absence lingered as much as the man himself might have. He had the legs. He had the lungs, Elias whispered to himself, an epitaph for his fallen comrade. He just couldn't leave the complaint behind. At Shatter-Point Spire, the unforgiving truth touches all who try to scale its face. Some battles are fought not with our hands against rock, but against our own reluctance to turn blame into resolve, adversity into action. Marcus, though capable beyond measure, had succumbed not to the demands of the climb, but to the voice within him, the one that echoes louder than the fiercest wind. And that, for Elias, was the harshest revelation of all. that one can prepare the body for greatness, but without the mind, the peak remains up an insurmountable ascent. In the glow of the sunset, Elias understood the quiet victory he possessed was laden also with loss. It was a triumph over the mountain, indeed, but fraught with the pang of leaving someone else's story unfinished. Marcus's last plea lingered in the air like the final note of a song half sung. As life continues, we are reminded that the mountains we encounter vary in form. Whether boulderous and steep as a god's wicked grin, or gentle hills paved by daily tasks, the struggle remains. The act of hauling ourselves over internal, invisible precipices. As the sun recedes beyond the horizon, consider the paths as much as the summits you conquer, hewn as they are by the will within. For in every climb lies the question, will you be tethered by weight or programmed to rise? It is a question of legacy and struggle, where each must decide, will you dare all the conditions of life, or let the winds write your story? As we delve deeper into this narrative of courage and resilience, we turn to those whose trajectories have been marked by the most daunting of obstacles. Their stories weave a tapestry of fortitude, illustrating the very essence of determination and perseverance. Take, for instance, the tale of Maria Gomez, an immigrant who arrived with nothing but the dream of a better tomorrow. Despite language barriers and economic hardships, she carved a path paved with grit and unyielding hope. Maria's journey is emblematic of countless others who face similar adversities, chosen or otherwise. Their stories form the backbone of what we understand as a shared human experience, challenging the notion of insurmountable odds. And yet, how are these narratives reconciled in the collective consciousness? Through the lens of time, the struggles and victories are etched into our cultural memory, immortalized in stories told, retold, and sometimes forgotten. But each serves to inspire, acting as cornerstones for future generations to lean upon when steeling themselves for their own climbs. To comprehend the broader implications, we must also consider the silent battles, those fought within the mind. The psychological landscapes we navigate can possess as rugged terrain as any physical summit. The quiet resilience required to confront mental health challenges is no less heroic. It's a reminder that the fight to move forward can be both visible and invisible. In this complex interplay of external and internal battles, the collective human spirit stands as a testament to adaptability. The landscapes, real and metaphorical, challenge and shape us, yet we persist. From these moments of struggle and triumph arises the kernel of legacy, the evolution of self through trials faced and overcome, paving the way for stories yet unwritten, inviting us to listen closely and follow their echoes bravely through the unknown. The question persists, but with every telling, a new answer forms.